India in details.
400 million pilgrims, world's largest gathering.
400
After a long
million.
wait, the moment has finally arrived. And an important moment has also come for many ISKCON devotees, as Asia's second largest ISKCON temple has arrived as well. From the USA to Turkey, and from Russians and Chinese to Israelis, French and Pakistanis, people across the world are reacting to India's Mahakumbh. To start with, the BBC, as you can read here, used disrespectful language to describe Mahakumbh. To anyone with a sane mind, India's ability to host something so massive should be an opportunity to learn and admire. But in this article, the BBC decided to focus on the claims of shoving and pushing. There are so many people praising the facilities. I wonder why the BBC doesn't give that enough coverage.
It amazes me that they have created this complex, this city out of the sand and created the ability to care for all of these people. The security at the Kumbh Mela complex, for me, is so surprising that they can do it so well for millions of people. There are millions of people walking, there's the parades, there's the cars, there's camels, there's elephants, there's millions of people, and yet I and everyone that I see feels safe.
And over here, the BBC referred to the river Sarasvati as mythical. At least in this article from the Chinese media outlet, Sarasvati was referred to as Sarasvati and not as mythical Sarasvati. Hannah Ellis Peterson, who is the Guardian's South Asia correspondent, has a track record of writing India-related content that tends to negatively impact India's image. In her article, she mentioned that the festival is viewed by many as a potent and politically advantageous symbol of Hindu unity and power. The French media outlet France 24 published an article that highlighted that the scale of preparations for the Kumbh Mela is akin to setting up a country from scratch. After all, setting up 150,000 toilets, 200 kilometers of sewage lines, 160,000 tents and community kitchens that can each feed up to 50,000 people at a time is quite incredible. The event spans 40 square kilometers, comparable to 4,000 football pitches. As described here, a 776-mile drinking water pipeline has been installed. Anyway, preparations to host up to 400 million people, more than the combined population of the United States and Canada, is something that probably only Indians can manage and execute this way. The Turkish media outlet TRT World published an article mentioning that the bright lights for the event can be seen from space. An article that originated from the French international news agency, AFP, about Mahakumbh used words like distressed, nightmare and scared. And that generated a sort of negative image of the event. The same article was published by multiple major media outlets across the world. So far, on the basis of what I have come across, multiple Western media outlets seem to be creating an overall negatively exotic image of the event, presenting Hindus as if their culture is inferior or strange. However, the Russian media outlet RT is doing something that seems quite opposite. Take a look at this. On Twitter, RT India posted this to show how much they care about India's image and how they are fighting the anti-India stereotypes created by the Western media. Using words like millions in devotion, a sacred journey, and faith uniting millions in a spiritual pilgrimage sounds a lot more appropriate when describing this. As written here, India's spiritual heart beats stronger than ever. RT India's coverage on this seems more balanced. However, Indians who understand the Russian media outlet's track record cannot be taken for a ride. In this video, I explained how RT itself has created or solidified many negative stereotypes about India, and how after the Ukraine-Russia war, as Russia faced a sort of global isolation, its media outlet changed its tone when it comes to its coverage about India. As far as Israelis are concerned, some of them have already participated in Mahakumbh and have fallen in love with the country. Google Trends showed that in Pakistan, it seems that some are curious about Mahakumbh and are trying to understand or see what Mahakumbh is all about. As far as the inauguration of the Asia's second largest ISKCON temple is concerned, many are seeing this act by Modi as a subtle message to Bangladesh. How many Hindus have faced persecution in Bangladesh is something that the world cannot ignore. Of course, there are Bangladeshi Muslim preachers or scholars influencing Bangladeshis, But it has been pointed out that in Bangladesh, many Muslims, in one way or the other, are inspired by or are familiar with Zakir Naik's teachings as well. We also cannot forget that some of Zakir Naik's comments regarding ISKCON have also hurt many Hindus. Back in 2016, it was reported that his website was blocked in Bangladesh because his lectures appeared provocative. But perhaps support for Zakir Naik in Bangladesh never ended. And after Sheikh Hasina's departure, Bangladesh's relations with Zakir Naik can take a new turn, and India cannot ignore that. During these times, Modi's words of support and love for the ISKCON community sent a very strong message. The arrival of Mahakumbh and the passion of millions of devotees indicate that the so-called eradication of Sanatan Dharma is not possible. The radical task of the total evangelization of India does not seem possible either. And yes, despite all the attempts to destroy the soul of India, Bharat's ancient and diverse Sanatan culture continues to thrive and shine.
This is really so informative, guys. This is really so informative to us. And for me as African, first time reacting, first time watching about the Maha Kumbh Mela, guys, this is really a very big history ever I'm witnessing, guys. And it's good to see how people have the belief, the spirit, and the faith to come together and to celebrate this festival. And it is not only people from India. I came to know that people from the foreign, from the other countries also, they came and they witnessed this, guys. And I just can't imagine like how the government made it successful when there is a lot. Just imagine they said like 400, just like 400 million devotee only, right? Am I right, guys? Like more than 400. Oh my gosh, that is really something great, apart from the own citizen and the believers who came to witness this amazing. And this is a proof that how Hindu people love and have the faith and the belief and to preserve their religion, the culture and tradition, guys. And from this video also, from the Mahakumbh only, you will come to know how to learn. This is like, for me, I see Hindu religion also teach people on how to preserve and to have the belief and faith in their religion, which is really something great, guys. And wow, I wish I was there so that I can also vlog and witness with my own eyes. But I think it was so crazy because I saw so many foreigners also who attended this. They gave their review about it. Like it was really so overwhelming, but it was overcrowded. And you know how, because it's only celebrated every 6 or 12 years. This is really something great. So every people want to witness that. And thank you so much. Love from Africa. Jai Hind. You can tell me much more about the background of this festival. In case I said something wrong, you can correct me out. I'm also learning from Africa, and it's my first time to know and to watch about the Maha Kumbh Mela. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.